Hey, thanks for joining me. So today I want to talk about a narcissist in collapse. And I'm currently watching my narcissistic mother collapse in on herself in real time. So every day it is something new. And so what I mean by a narcissist in collapse, that means that the narcissist is losing her supply of energy. And the way the narcissist gets their supply of energy is by doing their psychological abuse and manipulation on the people around them in their lives. So I was that for many years of my life for my narcissistic mother. And I provided great energy for her to continue all her weird activities and behaviors. So what ends up happening, and I think we'll probably see this a lot so she's a baby boomer, and as, you know, this generation gets older, they age out, you know, their friends die, you know, they lose the number of people that they had in their life when they were younger. They begin to collapse in on themselves. And what ends up happening, from what I've observed, and she's the only narcissist that I've seen experience collapse. So from what I've observed, she works hard to actively lash out to any avenue within her life to get more supply. So with me cutting her off, we're doing gray area currently because my wife and I live on their property, on my parents' property in their guest house. And so I'm in the gray zone. I don't talk to her at all, and I try to just not see her and avoid her. My wife really doesn't talk to her. But the supply that she's really targeted, which my wife and I have really been working hard to combat, is she's gone after my daughter, her grandchild, who is 6 years old. So, you know, the running kind of story she tells everyone, the narcissist, is that we're keeping the children from her. She can't see the children because we don't like her, and she's keeping the children from her. But she's literally doing narcissistic abuse on her grandchild. And, you know, the result is she's doing the love bombing and the gaslighting. And the love bombing is where, you know, people will give you a lot of love and affection, heavy doses of that, and then they pull it away. And then there's like no love and affection. And I experienced that my entire life. So heavy love, and then they pull it back. And it's that roller coaster. And what ends up happening, it gets you addicted to that person. And it's a great way to manipulate someone's emotions. And so that's been happening to our daughter. And we are trying to set an emotional baseline of just normal emotions and normal behavior and understanding those emotions and that behavior, so my daughter can feel like you know, she has a foundational emotional baseline to where it's not this roller coaster effect. So she's doing the love bombing really heavy to get energy from her granddaughter, and then she's doing the gaslighting, where she hides from her. Like if my daughter's out in the yard playing, my narcissistic mother will hide behind a bush and then peek around a corner, and she'll do that for I was out in the yard with my daughter. The narcissist sees us and runs and hides, and is hiding behind this wall. And so just to make fun or give her a hard time, my daughter and I just stayed there, and I waited her out, and she hid and peeked behind that wall for a half an hour to avoid contact. I don't know. It's so strange. So, you know, she's gaslighting my daughter by making her feel like, you know, she doesn't want her around, or she's trying to avoid her, or, you know, I don't know. I'm trying to understand this and observe it and combat it. But those are the two behaviors that I'm seeing But as she's collapsing and losing supply, and there's less and less of it, she begins to kind of, we have this cyclical thing where she gets real dramatic about a situation. I can tell she's been working on it for a while, and then she has a big outburst. And so that happened last summer. So every year, my wife and the kids and I, we all go visit my wife's family, and we stay with them. And what was interesting was the narcissist had zero supply. It was completely cut off. I mean, she had her blood boy, my dad, and then her golden child, the golden child, my brother. But they're not. It's limited supply there, and that was pretty much it. And so we're gone. I think we're gone for like a month, and then we come back, and man, the day we got back, everything, like, she went nuclear. My dad's freaking out. They're trying to like kick us out of the little guest house we're living in. They're this whole thing with how I'm killing my father by not being nice to my mother, and I need to give her love. And no, I was saying and what was weird was that we were gone. So, you would think if she hates us so much and doesn't want us around, that us being gone would be a good thing, and that she'd be happy. But it proves the point of her collapse, and the fact that there was no supply, because my daughter, her granddaughter, is a big source of supply. And I'm a source of supply in a sense, because she does try to project these kind of outward thing, this like outward projection towards me, where she's scared of me and she needs to hide, and she's so depressed, and she's outwardly trying to manipulate me by when I see her. So that's a little bit of a supply for her, but the granddaughter's the big one. And since we were gone for a month, man, she had zero supply, and she collapsed in on herself. And then when we came back, it was like, shit, we're looking for a house, looking for a place to live. Like, they want to kick us out. And I'm thinking, like, it's like, man, why would you want to kick out your son, his wife, and their two little kids? I have a 6-year-old and a 1.5-year-old. And wouldn't you want to be around your family? That's what's crazy about this. Because we moved into their guest house. So I'm a carpenter, and we were looking at trying to buy a place, and we just could not afford it. The average medium home price where we live is like $450,000, $500,000. And my business, I own my own business. I make like $80,000 a year, 100 in some years. And we just don't have the money to afford it. So we're looking at other options, and we had about $30,000 saved up. We're going to use that as a down payment. But I chose to, instead, my parents got this property they've been living on for a few years. It had a guest cottage on it. And, I told them, and this is before I knew the whole narcissist thing about my mother. But I asked them, like, hey, can I move my wife in here? And, can I raise my family here? And I'll fix up the guest house. So they agreed. And I fixed up the guest house, dumped $30,000 into it, and did a full remodel. And it looks great. It's small, but it's really cozy, and we love it. And so the whole idea was our family would be together. We lived on the same property. My parents could age out and retire, and I could help, and it would be great. And in your mind you think, that is ideal. But then, when the rubber hits the road, and you're like, wait, there's a bad egg in the bunch here, man. And that's a situation. This fucking narcissist is just torpedoing any love and connection that the family can have. And the girls are only going to be young for so long. The baby's only going to be a baby for so long. The 6-year-old's only going to be a little kid for so long. And they're in their 70s, and you know, I don't know how much time they have left. And it's such a detriment to me, and really embarrassing for me to have them behave that way. And you know, they really don't want anything to do with my family. And even before I called out the narcissist and stood up to her and gray rocked her, it was still like, you know, they don't want to see us. They don't want to deal with us. We don't want to be invited over on like Christmas, Thanksgiving. That's it. And then it's like we're there for a little while. We get shuffled out. The general feeling is just we're an inconvenience to them. So, but whatever. That's fine. But you know, the issue is that as this narcissist is collapsing on herself and she's acting out, you know, more intense, you know, as time passes. I mean, it's kind of, she's getting older, so she's losing energy, but yet she has this like drive and motivation and this energy that she's tapped into to really go after people. And that's what's scary about these narcissists, man, is this energy that they possess to really, you know, inflict emotional and psychological harm on people. And I don't understand where it comes from. I mean, I have theories, and I'll talk about that more. But so anyway, we're gearing up to take another trip to visit my wife's family here in like a month, and we're just preparing, you know, because when she loses that supply, and then she's collapsing on herself while she's gone, we're gonna be gone for an even longer amount of time. Man, we're gonna come home. We're preparing. We're not sure what is coming, but I'll definitely keep you updated and make a video, because watching this narcissist collapse in real time is a really interesting process to observe. So anyway, that's what's going on. Thanks for watching. I hope this is helpful.